Hey guys, and welcome to another brand new video. In this video, we're going to be dedicating this video fully to the brand new PlayStation 5 Dualsense Edge controller. Now, if you guys may or may not know, this controller is basically on the cusp and or already out, depending on when you guys are going to watch this video. So I'm going to give you guys the all-around run-through. Number one, I want to go and showcase up a video that actually highlights the controller itself. And I also kind of want to give you guys some good run-through of how I felt with using my own Pro controller and kind of talk about the big differences and changes and everything else in between it, because there is a lot of cool stuff, but although it is technically brand new technology. So I'm going to talk about this and talk about, well, if it's good, worth it, or actually worth like the pretty expensive $200 price point or not, at least in my opinion. And as well, kind of the big topic question of this one, are you guys actually looking to splurge and go and spend that extra bit of money on the controller itself, or, well, not? You guys think it's a little bit too much money or not? Let me know. And as well, before I dive on in, make sure you guys are subscribed with the notifications on. As well, follow the Twitter and Twitch room down below. We also do have all the Howl links, Amazon links, affiliate links, and everything else too. And let's dive into the video. So very first and foremost, as I mentioned, there's quite a few different big changes when it comes to the controller itself. And as well, it is also changed too with a pretty, well, hefty price tag. When it comes to the PlayStation 5 controller, they did make a really big push into making things a little bit more different in terms of the haptic feedback and the internal motors, and for some weird odd reason, adding an actual microphone to the controller itself. So basically, the original PlayStation 5 controller is nothing that abnormal, but it is better. It's nicer, and it was a big selling point for the console for about 2 years, as we're now going to year 3. Now, I'm going to go and show you guys a pretty quick video over here when it comes to CNET, where it kind of goes and highlights up the controller, the original actual unboxing, so you guys can actually see what it looks like. On over here.
The DualSense Edge controller for the PlayStation 5. Let's open it up and see what's inside. The DualSense Edge is a Pro-style controller that offers the player more customization and performance options. In the box, you get a nice carrying case, the controller itself,
and as well,
a handful of stick
I also do my own little controller here too. We're going to talk about in a second.
Out, a USB-C cable for charging, and a connector housing.
So you can see everything in
Pro
it, you know, all the nice stuff.
Like this one, let you remove the analog sticks to change their
height, which I would probably be afraid of doing, by the way,
for additional inputs, and adjust the trigger pull distances. The controller feels pretty similar to the original.
We'll do a little step by step in a second.
But it also has a nice textured grip on the back of the handles. It also has a window on the case that you can flip open to charge the controller while it's housed inside. There's a ton of software customization options as well, which we'll get into in the full review coming soon. The DualSense Edge and everything here retails for around $200.
Alright, so let me go and do like a quick little run through on this one. So as I mentioned, I have my own Pro controller, which I've had a chance to go and utilize and rock out over here on, well, the PlayStation for a while. This one is pretty much about the same in terms of what Sony has to offer, and there's quite a few different things, and I kind of want to go do a little bit, I guess, like a feedback, because there's actually not that many folks who have had a chance to use a Pro controller for about a year or so. Now, I've had this for quite some time myself. This retailed at around $350. So I'm not necessarily fully using the DualSense itself as like the one-to-one, but it's a very similar thing, and I feel like having like used this for about over a year or so, it kind of adds a little bit more extra merit of what kind of gets annoying, what doesn't. Very first and foremost, when it comes to the controller itself, there are back panels, which you guys may have actually had a chance to see in that little highlight over here for the DualSense Edge. Now, I just want to say, first and foremost, it does feel uncomfortable and kind of somewhat strange. It's like, you don't usually use these two types of fingers, and even me just doing this on video, like, it's like tensing up my entire hand. It's a really strange thing, and like, I have big hands, okay? I have a pretty big hand. The actual DualSense will be very similar to this. It's a very uncomfortable feeling to do. Now, I mean, some people play like this, maybe, I'm not really sure, but if I basically want to use these fingers, it's uncomfortable. I really don't use the back, like, kind of customizable little triggers too often. It's nice, but in theory, I'd probably want to put up a little bit higher, and based on the location of where the actual PlayStation 5 DualSense is, it's about the same location. So this is a cool feature. I think it's a game changer, and I think it has to be kind of fine-tuned more, but it doesn't feel that well. Like, it's just really hard to push, and it's kind of more of a niche case type thing. Now, in the future for video games, it might be nice, because we maybe have more MMOs or online games or more crossplay, which is kind of good because you need these buttons, but it really is like, just try to do this with your fingers. It's a really weird feeling nonetheless. Now, I do also want to go and say, too, one of the bigger changes as well, which I do believe is also on this, is like the shorter kind of push down, which to me is a fantastic double-edged feature. And a chance to go and adjust them, like basically be adjustable for all these types of things is a fantastic thing. And I will kind of, let me go actually kind of dive back into the video for some of these highlights, is because some of the things such as like the glossy middle, which you guys can kind of go to over here, is pretty much on the same glossy side, is actually kind of nice. Although it does go get fingerprints, which you guys can probably maybe see if it gets a little bit closer. It's not too bad as time kind of goes on. You can kind of see a little scuff, probably a little bit of dirtiness too as well. And like, this is with also trying to make sure your controller is taken care of, and also does look nice. So overall, at least in terms of like these secondary side panels, which is probably the biggest change up, those like programmable panels, They're nice, they're cool with me using it for about a year, but it's not necessarily as big of a game changer as you think. I think it is a game changer, but it needs to be fine-tuned and changed more as time goes on, and I can kind of see that being the PS6 controllers or other Microsoft controllers, only as we kind of evolve into more different games. Now, to kind of go back to the actual video itself, and let me go and mute it, there's a few different things to kind of go and note. So if you guys kind of look through the controller itself, as I mentioned, there is a few little small overlays and kind of overall graphic design changes. Like it has like slightly different textures and nicer layouts for this type of stuff, which I think is very, very nice to go and see. Now as well, for $200, I would maybe go and recommend this more so. Price point wise, it's hard to recommend unless you guys are maybe very, very proactive PlayStation gamers. Or maybe you guys do like MLG or game battles, or maybe you're a streamer or YouTuber. Maybe you guys play maybe a lot of competitive type style games. You kind of want these little small fine-tuned adjustments. For a normal everyday consumer, I think it's okay if you don't want to. I kind of felt like sometimes I even want to use my normal PlayStation 5 controller because like I said, sometimes things like these backlog triggers are nice, but you kind of push down too hard and you kind of like almost like the loosey-goosey feeling depending on the game itself. Now, the actual carrying case seems cool, but I myself would probably just throw this away, and maybe unless you do a lot of traveling on that one. And like I said, the controller itself looks cool, but I probably would just get rid of most of this stuff unless I'm using it for interchangeable things. Now, as you guys can also see up on the actual things themselves, they look kind of nice for the adjustable sizing, which is cool. But for some odd reason, I'm weird, I'd probably be afraid to always go and change that and adjust that. But the controller itself does look like a beaut. So you can also go and remove these types of analogs over here if you guys have had control freaks or other various like controller adapters. You're probably used to this throughout the years. But having a chance to go and customize that to what you actually kind of like and prefer, because there is the double options, that is a very, very nice bonus. And it's kind of expected for a $200 controller. But at the same time, you can go buy third-party offhand type things and go make that same adjustment and adjust the sizes and adjust like the actual tippy tops and stuff. There's even some things that will literally just go lay on top just to go and adjust this and make it a little bit nicer, which is cool and it's nice, but at the end of the day, is it $200 worth? I'm kind of on the indifferent side. Now, let's get to where I talk about more about these panels. I do think the panels are very, very nice. And one thing that I don't have in terms of my Pro controller is these little like analog adjusters over here. Now, I think it's kind of similar to what I was talking about before, where these are just predetermined. So it's kind of nice to have more adjustability and changes inside the controllers themselves. But I will be honest, like from actually having a proper Pro controller for quite some time, it's nice. It's a bonus. If you got some good money or you really like your PlayStation and you're like, you do, like I said, like MLB stuff or Call of Duty stuff, or like you're trying to do like, game battles or streaming. Yeah, it's cool. It's maybe worth it for you. For I think most everyday general consumers, $200 doesn't really seem that worth it in my honest opinion. Like the controller seems really cool and most people's on their first impressions have really liked it, but like I said, it's just a normal PlayStation 5 controller. Now, maybe if your controller broke, because they usually cost around like 50 to 70, they've been on sale a few times, but they're usually around $70. So if your controller broke and you already know you're gonna be playing a lot more on your console or stuff like that, then yeah, you wanna what? If you wanna splurge, because it only costs an extra $120 at that point, why not? But if you already have a controller, you probably don't really need it at the end of the day. It also depends if you really use your console that much or not. But like I said, when it comes to these back panels, they're cool. They're customizable. You can add that to your game and it is a nice little bonus, but it really isn't that much of a game changer. Like I said, it does feel uncomfortable. It's weird to use. And typically, like most games on the console are designed around these normal actual triggers, like the normal controller itself, because that's what probably 99%, even with this new controller, are going to be playing onto as well. Now, as we've mentioned too, some of these quality of life updates are nice, and the build quality is great, and it does seem like a slightly better, well-made controller, which I think is nice. I think it's cool. But like I mentioned, for someone who's actually had a chance to use a Pro controller for about a year, like I said, like it's cool, it's nifty, it's kind of niche, but like not many games are custom made for that, or if they are, they're usually developed for the 99% of all the other console players. As well, like things like the carrying case, these bonus things, in my opinion, are a little bit on the overpriced side, kind of bolstering up the price a little bit more. I think the $200 is just a little bit too much. But as well, having a chance to go and swap out these different types of like covers and now these actual like analog sticks, that's cool, but would I really want to pay $200 for that? I'd probably say no. Are the back panels cool? Yes, but would I want to pay $200 for that? Not really. And as well, like the controller itself does seem like it's nice. I like the glossy finish and all that. But at the same time, for someone who's had a Pro controller for quite some time, which has been a very cool addition, I do like it and I'm happy I have it. Would I go and spend the money on this again? I'm gonna be honest, probably not. But if you guys want to, try it out and go and see, feel free to. But at the end of the day, I mean, I don't know. With like the recession and the economy and potential job layoffs, it's kind of hard to go drop like $200 plus tax on a more expensive controller. It does feel good. There is like these niche features are nice, but like at the end of the day, I don't know. I'd probably say stick with your PlayStation 5 controller unless it breaks and you want to splurge, or you really like your console, or you're just overall just absolutely rich, then go for it. But give me your thoughts and comments down below if you guys are going to pick one up or not. So make sure you guys are subscribed with the notifications on. We have the Twitter and Twitch room down below. We have the Target links down below. We have the Amazon links down below, How links down below. And let me know your thoughts and comments down below as well.